A blessed and wonderful day to every single one of you. Thank you for joining us once again at Trends and Truth. Many of us carry big dreams in our lives. Some dreams come to pass, some don't. But it's not easy to dream, isn't it? Sometimes it's very hard to think beyond a certain point, believe beyond a certain point. But today with me is a young man who's chosen to believe beyond what is the norm, to believe that God is able to lift him to such a high platform that he can impact not only the nation but the entire world. An international dream that he holds in his heart. And today it's my pleasure and my honor to introduce you all to Premshan. Hi Premshan.
Hi, hello.
It's such a privilege to have you here to share your story with us and how you achieved or are still achieving the great dream that God has placed in our heart. Yes. I believe that every dream that we carry is placed by God in our hearts. And I'm sure that you have such a big story behind this dream and how it got started and what you believe in. So before anything else, I'd love for you to introduce yourself to us and tell us a little bit about who Premshan is. Not the guy we see on stage or on TV performing, not that guy, but who he really is and the core of who you are.
So first of all, thank you for having me here.
Such a pleasure.
So talking about myself, so basically I'm Premshan and if I could describe myself in one word, I'd say I'm an adventurous person who likes to try stuff and take risks. Try and always keep learning new things and just trying to better yourself and just be the best version that you could be.
That's pretty awesome.
I think that's a very simple way to put it.
Nice. So we all know that right now in your life you're about to launch your album, you're performing, you're competing, you're doing so many great things. But this musical journey of yours, I'm sure, would have started a long time back. We'd love to know the story about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know if it counts as a long time back because if 5 years counts, if 5 years is considered as a long time, but yeah, it's been a long journey. I mean, I was working and studying back in 2016, and so after school I was involved in 2 jobs, and I was in uni studying marketing, and it was all going well. I think at that point I really didn't know what I wanted to do with my life and what my purpose was. I knew that music was a big part of my life because I had been involved in the church stuff and worship, etc., since I was a kid. But I never really wanted to take music up as a profession.
Okay.
Because I had a lot of things going on in my mind pertaining to that. So even when I was a kid in school, my teachers kept asking, especially during my A-level days, my teachers kept asking why I'm doing commerce, because I was doing commerce for A-levels, and why I'm doing commerce and not something related to music. And after all, I was never in the classroom. I was always with the band or choir or in the chapel or something like that. I was barely in the classroom. So those things were running in my mind, but I was pretty convinced that I never wanted to do music as a profession. And then again, when I was working with my colleagues, realized that I'm into music. I play instruments and all of that. Even they kept asking me the same question: what are you doing here? And why are you not into music? And why are you doing merchandising? So I kept contemplating, and then after that I was invited to perform with a couple of my friends in a small venue while I was working. So every Friday night I would rush after work and play and then come back home late and so on and so forth. So that kept on going for a good 3-4 months, when I started realizing I might be doing better as a musician, like sharing my passion and sharing my gift with others. Because mind you, I was very happy with my job.
Okay.
I was doing really well, but then I felt like there was something missing in my life, as like in my professional life.
Okay.
And then that is when so I was doing music part time. I was helping out a friend as well with his studio, with productions and just with the music side of the things. And afterwards, after about 3-4 months down the line, is when I decided, okay, I think I should step down. I should quit my job and get into music full time, which I did. Yeah, which I took a bold step, and so it was like stepping into like a sort of a dark place without any without seeing anything. But the first few months were very tough. Because after I quit my job, I suddenly went into this phase of no work. So for a good 3-4 months, I was not making any money. I was looking for gigs, I was looking for contracts, I was looking for clients, but I didn't find any. So luckily, I had some savings from my day job, and I was living with my parents, so I was able to survive. But about 3 months later, I was able to land my first contract, and which was a very good contract. Then soon I was able to get another one, and so since then it has been a pretty exciting journey.
Wow, that's amazing. But like you said, I mean, 3 months without employment,
Yes.
that would have been extremely difficult. I'm sure along the way, you said 5 years specifically, right? So 5 years is a very long time when you look at it, trying to make a dream come true. So what was it like for you? What were the struggles? What did you have to go through?
I think the very first struggle is pretty common to all of us who decide to do something like this, which is from the parents and the family, because we are all Asians and we have this typical Asian doctor, lawyer, engineer sort of thing. because since I was small, I wanted to be a lawyer, and then with the marketing thing that was going on, so I was more into the corporate stuff. So my parents were not 100% happy with my decision, but it's not like they were, no, you should not do this. Not that either. They were okay, but then again, we all have our moments, right? So we would, every now and then, we would have these debates and arguments about what are you doing, what are you doing with your life? Look at that kid, this kid, and look at this fellow. He's in university. He's doing this. He's doing a degree, etc., etc. So I remember once we, the four of us, myself, so my parents and my brother, we were traveling from Kandy back to Colombo. And so somehow, about 5 minutes into the journey, this topic came up. Okay, so till we came to Colombo, till we reached home, we were having debate. We were arguing about it, back and forth. So like that. But somehow, I'm thankful that my parents, later on as time passed by, they have really started to see, and they have started to relate with me to my dream, and they have started, they have become very supportive. Since I think maybe the first year or two was the struggling part, but after that, they have been very supportive. They have helped me a lot with the work. They even bought me stuff, equipment, and so yeah, it has been with my parents, it has been a very, very great journey, I'd say. But talking beyond that, about the journey as talking about the bigger picture, I'd say I've been blessed enough to have the mountaintop experiences as well as the valley low experiences, with no prior warning or with no prior notice. So, talking about some of the toughest days, I remember there was this period I didn't have any work. As in, there was one gig going on, but then again, it was just that. It was tough to cope up financially and all that, because I'm doing music full time. So I went and I came across one of these venue owners, and I spoke to him. He said, so I told him this is who I am. I do music. I'd like to perform at a venue. And he was like, yeah, sure, but I'd like to have a listen to you. And we had a small discussion, and I said, okay, so on this day I'm performing here. Why don't you come and have a look? He was like, great, I'll be coming that way anyway on that day. So I'll surely come and check you out. So given my situation, I think I was in more of a place of desperation to find work, and so I really got ahead of myself, and I was very excited. Okay, this guy's coming. I should be able to impress him and get this thing going. But I remember that day. That was one of the toughest days ever for me. Thinking about it, I was so excited. I had gotten so ahead of myself to the point where, so the entrance to the place is behind us. So whoever walks into the venue will be if I'm standing here and performing, he'll be walking like this.
Okay.
After every song, during every after almost every line of the song, I kept turning like this and looking if he's coming, which he didn't come. So I'd say I was very heartbroken that day. It was a very painful experience. But then again, I thought, I'm here for a bigger cause, and somehow I pushed myself. I pulled my socks up, and I kept going, which has that I think that never give up attitude has taken me to some crazy places. I was privileged to be the opening act for two international bands. The first was back in 2017. That has a really interesting story, which I'd like to share. So I went to this Sun FM concert, okay, and at that point I didn't have money to buy the ticket. Somehow I was able to get a pass through one of my friends who were working there at the venue, and so it was this Australian band, okay, and somehow I got a chance to get in and watch them, okay, and I was there by myself. I didn't even I didn't even go with my friends because it was just a pass that I got. So I went, and there were a few people whom I knew there, so I hung out with them for a little while, but towards the end, I remember going and sitting in a corner and trying to write a song about the whole experience of being there, because it was, I think, it was the first real concert that I went to, and watching these guys perform on stage, everyone just going crazy and putting their phones up like this and trying to make videos and all of that. And I was thinking, wow, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I was having this pretty uneasy feeling, knowing that okay, I'm in this place, which with a dream which I want to pursue, but I have no idea what I should do or where I should go, whom I should talk to. This place of being lost, sort of. like being thrown into the middle of an ocean sort of thing. That kind of feeling, like with just a boat, something like that. So you don't know which way is north, which way is south. Like you have to just keep sailing. So I tried to write a song that day about that whole, about all the people who were there, about all the everything that was going on the stage. But I couldn't write. So I just let it be, and I came home thinking, wow, I really wish I could do this someday, or I could do at least a fraction of something like this. And you won't believe me. So this happened. So this concert was somewhere in September, October of 2017. I'm just barely a year into the industry. December they had their next edition, okay, which was with another band, okay, and I was performing at this place. I was performing during Christmas, so this was during Christmas. I was performing in a public place, and the CEO of this channel, and plus the producer, okay, he had walked by. He had seen me. I was having a very bad day because I was just recovering from a cold. I was barely able to sing, but I was just singing. He came out to me and spoke to me. Hi, I really like your singing. I'm so and so from this place. And have you heard of this show? This particular show? And I was like, yeah, I was there at the concert last time. Would you like to perform in our next concert? And I was like, I really can't say, I really can't express my reaction right here. I was like, to say the least, yes. I was like, of course. And then he got in touch with me, and the very next show I was on stage, opening for another band, another Australian band. No, actually the previous band was from US, the concert which I went to. And the band that I opened up for was from Australia. And then that was one of the moments. And then again, a couple of years down the line, I opened up for Boys Avenue, which is the biggest band on YouTube right now. Has been the biggest band over the past decade or so. So like that, I've had some really amazing moments, thankfully, and yeah, I think I could keep talking. I could keep on talking, but I think just to sum things up, yeah, I've had my lowest moments and highest moments.
Amazing. And even as you were talking about all of this, I could see your face light up as you were talking about the victories you went through. But just to think about, it was the same guy who was, tell you the story you shared with us first, where you were looking back to see whether that guy who owned the venue would come. And from that guy to the guy you are today, and it's very evident with the way you're smiling right now, we can say, God has truly brought victory into your life already. Yes. You've already succeeded. You've already made most of your dream come true. And praise God for that. I'm sure you're going to go places. There is no doubt about it. So through all of it, if I can ask you, Premshan, what is your inspiration?
I think it has to be my parents, because I don't know if I might get emotional talking about this, but excuse me if I do, because I have seen my parents go through everything, right, in life. Since myself and my brother, we were small, the things that they have gone through to bring us up, to educate us, and the places that I've been to. I'm sorry, I think I'm breaking down, but my dream at the end, my ultimate dream would be to pay back for them. Okay, I know I would never be able to pay back for them in full, but at least to do maybe a part of it and make them happy and make them proud. I think that would be my ultimate goal. So yeah, because I think they keep inspiring me. I mean, we have had our moments, where our ideas don't match, and after all, they have been the most supportive parents who have brought me up with. I couldn't ask for anything better. So, the things that they have taught me since I was small, and the values, etc., which I'm very thankful for. I think that they are my inspiration, and also my brother who is always by my side. Anywhere, whatever it is, he would always come running, either in a bike or in a book or something like that. So I think that's my inspiration. Just want to make my parents proud, and have the things that I never had in life. So while being a blessing to as much people as possible. I have a lot of big dreams, out of music, but I think that's a topic for another day. So I think as you asked, if you could, if I could tell what my inspiration is and what keeps driving me, it's my parents, my family, the things that I want to do for them. So
it's absolutely beautiful. I'm sure, as your parents and your family watch this, I'm sure that they couldn't be proud of the amazing man you have become today. And truly, I believe this, that you have been a blessing to them and many others too. So it's inspiring, it's beautiful to see, and thank you for being so raw and honest in front of all of us. I think it's something that we should all learn from also, because our parents give up a lot to help us become the people that we are today, and it's very rarely that a young person stops and appreciates it.
Yes.
And it's extremely important, and I'm sure a young person watching today will be inspired by you today to just say thank you, just to appreciate.
Yes.
And it's a beautiful inspiration to hear about Premshan.
Because I'd like to add, as I said, my parents have been to the lowest possible points just to make sure that our home was functioning, right? Especially my dad, he has put aside everything and gone to places that no one would ever go, just to put bread on the table and make sure our school fees are paid, and it just keeps running smooth. For which I don't think I could ever pay back. So I keep trying my best to do what I can to make sure they are happy, and they are proud of me, and they can live happily. So I think that's pretty much it.
Well, our highest blessings to you, that God will undoubtedly take you to that place, that you will be a blessing to them always. So in closing, I just have to ask you this one more question. We know that you play secular music, and we are a Christian show that you're talking in, and you're playing in the world, basically, right? But at the same time, we see you Sunday after Sunday here on the pulpit, worship leading, and you're one of the most loved worship leaders in the church. Everyone loves when you lead us in worship, and we know that the Spirit moves and God truly works through that time. How is it to balance both of it out?
I think it's not very easy, to be honest, because thankfully our service is in the evening. So sometimes Saturday nights are very long with my band. When we perform, sometimes our nights go on till 4 or 5 in the morning if it's like an event or like a corporate event, something like that. But it's not been easy, as I said. However, I think it's all about having the heart and knowing where you stand, knowing where your heart is, being grounded in your faith, and just balancing things out. Because if when we keep running, God gives us strength in ways that we can't even imagine, physically, mentally. Because being a musician, is, I think it's one of the most exhausting jobs. Like, you know, it's time consuming. It's like physically exhausting, mentally exhausting. Like, you know, but I think it all balances out and cuts out like, you know, with the people you meet, like, you know, the people you interact with. And as long as you know that you are just sharing your heart with like people, and you are sharing a passion with people, I think that is what keeps you going. So with all of that, as I said, having a heart grounded and like, you know, staying true to your calling, I think it all adds up to the place where you are at a balance.
Yeah.
Between, like, you know, being involved in ministry and
if I can stop you there, Premshan, I think it's a very common question that people would ask, is that, you know, when you're on a stage, you're performing, right? You're performing to an audience, you're trying to draw the audience in. And then when you are leading worship, you're raw and honest and you're pouring your heart out.
Different.
Yeah, it's different, right? So doesn't it clash? Don't you have moments of where you're trying to a balance between the two, or, you know, one tries to overlap another?
I think I have. To be honest, I have.
Yeah.
Like, you know, even when leading worship, not just here, but other places that I've led worship, I think I have had my moments where, like, you know, I sometimes like, you know, forget that I'm leading worship, as in, like, you know, not with my physical attributes or anything like that, like the way I sing and move around on stage, but like, you know, your heart, your mind, where it is. Sometimes when leading worship, like, you know, there have been times where I forget, like, you know, not forget, like, there are times I have lost focus, but like, in a very short sparks of faith. I don't know if that makes sense, but that happens. It does happen. But then again, it's, and in the same way, like, you know, when you are performing outside, right? You could easily get carried away, thinking, okay, like, you know, this is like, you know, this is not church. Like, you know, you can just you can I mean, like, you know, church is a different place. This is a different place. So you could get carried away like that. And but as I said, I think it's all about having a heart grounded and knowing where you are and who you are. Because I have been because in our churches, I don't know if it's the same in other countries, like, you know, in the Western cultures, but in our culture, in Asian countries, we have this notion where you like, you know, if you are a church musician, you can't be involved in like, you know, worldly stuff or any secular music. And I've been told to my face personally, like, you know, you are God has blessed you with these talents, and you should not misuse them. You should not play in clubs, and like, you know, you should play it only for God, so on and so forth. But something that I've always believed in, even before I got into the music scene, is the Bible says you have to be the light of the world, not the light of the church, if that makes sense. So what's the point of lighting a candle here where all these lights are there? So that's how I look at it. As long as you are true to yourself and you are being honest with God, it doesn't matter where you are, right? It doesn't matter where you go and sing, because, I mean, of course, like, you know, you can't go and sing songs that, like, you know, talk about bad things or some, like, you know, I mean, you know, right? That's not what I'm talking about. But as long as the music is what you are doing is, like, you know, it could impact someone in a positive way. Like, it could send out some message. It doesn't have to be a religious message or something spiritual or anything like that. As long as it could make someone's day, to say the least, or, like, to put it in the simplest form. As long as you can make someone's day, or, like, you know, set someone's mood up with your music or your performance, I think that's all that matters, because your connection is with God, right? And when that is right, God will be glorified with what you do. because music is also it's just another, it's like any other profession, right? So you are using your skills and talents and your gifts with someone else. But if you are being the person whom you're not in church when you're outside, right? If you are like doing all sorts of stuff like from Monday to Saturday, right? And like all everything that you're not supposed to do, and then come to church on Sunday and like get on pulpit and minister or lead worship or even play an instrument, whatever it is. I think that's where the problem is, right? It's all about having yourself grounded, knowing where you are, knowing where you knowing who you are, and being honest with God about yourself. And if that happens, I'm sure God will be pleased, and God will use you in ways that in great ways, right? Because with music, when you are performing, you meet so many people, right? I meet 2,000-3,000 people a month, right? I interact with such that much of people at my gigs and etc. But through my music, I've been able to form bonds with people, friendships, relationships, right? Meaningful meaningful relationships with people, right? So that could be a way to get people to open up to you, and that could be an avenue for you to do your thing, which is which is talk about the love of God, which has happened, right? I mean, I've made friends, I've had some amazing bonds with people over the past 4 or 5 years, people whom I met through my music, right? And those people I've been able to invite to church, or when I was younger, for my youth stuff, like that. So I think that is which I'm very thankful for, right? And which I consider myself privileged to be to see both sides of the world, right? The better side and the worst side, right? And to experience both of it, I think it's a rare privilege. So as I said, music could be an opening for you to connect with people. And so that's how I look at it. It's all about being grounded in yourself and being honest with God.
I love the way you explained it, how a lit candle, what is the point of it being in the middle of a whole room full of lit candles? But you remind me of what Pastor Shan always says, that we are called to be in top of all fields.
Yes.
Christians are supposed to be in top of all fields, not only one. So it's great, you're breaking the stereotypes, you're making a difference, and that's exactly what we are called to do. We are called to make national transformation. In closing, Premshan, if there is another person who's watching today who is striving to make their dream come true, what is your advice to them?
I would say have confidence in yourself. Put your confidence in God. You might know God, you might not know God, but I think if you have this burning passion, there might be times that you might feel like it's going away because things might get tough. But as the saying goes, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. So I think if you keep pushing forward, when you finally see the little things, the little desires, the little dreams coming true, that will keep pushing you to go for even bigger things, which has been the case for me, right? Because I mean, there have been so many times where I would have felt like quitting and going back to a day job, right? But always remember why you started, right? I think because it's a journey. It's not just a one day or 2 day thing. It's not like you are here today and tomorrow you are performing at Madison Square Garden, right? It's a huge journey, right? And it's all about enjoying the journey and trusting the journey, while believing that the God who called you to do this, the God who imparted you with whatever the talent and the gift is, He will make sure that it bears fruit as long as you are willing to submit to Him. I think so. So it's all about never giving up and keeping on going.
Thank you, Premshan. Thank you for everything that you shared with us. And we wish you God's greatest blessings through all the new adventures that you're going to face in the next couple of years in your life. And may God lift you to the highest of highest places. Thank you, viewers, for watching today. I hope today's segment is truly inspiring to you. Believe, dream big, because we have a big God and He can make big dreams come true. Be blessed always. God bless you all.